guys. My name is Urshka. I'm just waiting for my co-host to join me on today's webinar. Here he is. Hi, Niels.
Hey, Urshka.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Good. Yeah, another day in the office, huh?
Yes, working from home. So everybody, I can see a couple of you are joining now. Thank you for joining today's webinar. We're just going to give 2-3 minutes for everybody to join to make sure that nobody's going to miss the beginning. In the meantime, Niels, how are you doing? Working from home, this new working environment?
Yeah, it's going well. It's definitely a change in the past weeks, but it has been good so far, I would say. I think as Whisbi, we're quite flexible in those kind of situations. So it's a pro for us.
Yeah, we're quite lucky.
Yeah.
Especially we're able to help, big brands in this uncertain times. We enable them to connect with their clients and online, so they don't need to even have the stores open, which is a good thing, I guess. I guess your team has been pretty busy those past weeks.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of shifts in requests from clients, but also in the market. Mm-hmm. So definitely good to talk about it today as well. And I think everyone, but yeah, it's good that we can talk about it together at least.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna share this presentation. I hope everybody can see my screen.
I can.
Okay, that's good.
So how have you guys been holding up in the last few weeks with all the remote working?
Yeah, it's been challenging, but also, I think every challenging situation opens up new opportunities, which is good. We're always learning and trying to find new ways to, communicate and stay connected. So yeah, it's been going well, I think, for my team. Thank you. All right, I think we can start. Thank you everybody for joining. As you know, this webinar, we're gonna discuss how you can innovate with virtual events. So today with me here, I would like to present our speaker, who is going to be Niels. He is our senior product manager, and he is responsible for our video broadcast solution that we're also gonna talk about today in this webinar. Basically, he is every day working hard on improving the user experience for the Whisbi presenters. So this will be the agents that are daily using our broadcast app to do live broadcasts from their websites, and also for their customers. He has a lot of experience. He's been involved with many global brands, for example, 3UK and Hyundai. So welcome, Niels, and thank you for sharing your knowledge today.
Thank you for the invite.
No worries. So if we go quickly to the agenda, I'm going to start by introducing the conversational marketing, and then we can go into what type of virtual events brands can actually run, where I'm going to ask Niels for his expertise, and then also explaining what are the benefits of running those virtual events. We're going to take a look at onboarding, which is designed exclusively for enterprises. And also the implementation timeline, more or less, what kind of resources needed, we can touch base on that. And then in the end, we're going to do a deep dive into 3UK business case and KPIs. And we also have some KPIs to share regarding our Hyundai project, who also uses our broadcast solution. So if we go to the next slide, what is conversational marketing? I'm sure many of you have heard this buzzword, especially in the past couple of months. It's become more and more popular. So I just wanted to quickly explain what is conversational marketing. It's basically a method of engaging with website visitors and converting your online leads via dialogue-driven activities. Now, this style of marketing always puts a focus on interactions. So this fits very well with the concept of virtual events. So it's not just a simple one-way transmission of brand message as we are used to in the traditional marketing, but it aims to create relationships with the customers by building trust through conversations. So conversations are always in the center of conversational marketing. You can take advantage of your, for example, call center staff, store staff, and use their knowledge and expertise that they have built over the years working for your brand and selling your products face to face, and adding those into a digital experience. As we know, just in general, even before this COVID crisis, people are starting to visit less shops and more visiting our websites. So you need to make your website as good as an experience as possible and carry over all those benefits that consumers normally get from visiting your stores, which is, for example, your staff knowledge. So when it comes to high involvement purchase, such as buying a car or deciding on a bundle for your whole family, people don't want traditional digital marketing. They want a chance to speak to somebody. They want to ask questions, and they want to do it online when it's convenient for them. So how do we bring conversational marketing into virtual events? As we all are aware, in the last few weeks, the coronavirus has changed the world of work for all of us. And as businesses are starting to prioritize the safety of their communities, but also their staff, many in-person events and gatherings have been canceled. Even for us, we were very excited to go to Mobile World Congress. We had invited a lot of our clients to join us there. And unfortunately, this year it was just not possible. So like leaving these events, in-person events and gatherings canceled, this leaves people, looking at ways to stay connected. We've heard from a lot of you that you are considering also virtual events and alternatives on how to do these kind of things online. In these uncertain times, you may be considering how to adjust some business activities, the way you stay connected to your customers, but also the well-being of your employees, customers, partners. So we hope that this webinar will give you the answers that you're looking for. So Niels, could you please quickly explain to me the benefits of conversational marketing?
Yeah, of course. I think the main takeaways from this slide is that trust, brand trust is one of the most important things that you want to build up. Mm-hmm. I think the customers need to make sure that they can trust you in those kind of times, especially because there are a lot of insecurities and they just want to know clarity and brand presence. And of course, what we can offer is also a solution where you can engage with the customers and through live video. And I think in the end, that's a great result also of the reach. You can have a direct impact on customer experience, and the engagement with customers is the most important in this story. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, guys. So I've prepared a poll for all of you here. I would like to hear your thoughts and how you are approaching certain things right now. So the first question that I would like the answer to is, who leads the digital transformation in your company? So just bear with me a second while I launch this poll for you. I hope I get it right. All right, you should be able to answer now. Who is leading digital transformation? Is it a CEO, CTO, CIO, which is Chief Innovation Officer or Digital Experience Officer, CMO, or if there is maybe another job title that we didn't put on the list, just feel free to choose other, and we can maybe comment it later in questions and answers. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for a couple of seconds more. Okay, so we have the results of today's audience. We have 33% say CEO, 11% say CIO, 22% CMO, and 33% other. I'm very curious to know what are the other occupations or job titles in companies that are actually driving this digital transformation. What do you think, Niels?
Yeah, I've heard, of course, also about some roles which are mainly focused on digital transformation. So, of course, you have like the Chief Digital Transformation Officer. Mm-hmm. So I hope this one was one of the others. And yeah, of course, there are other main stakeholders who can decide in this process as well.
Yeah. Okay. The reason why I asked this question is because I've seen this very amusing, let's say, post on LinkedIn the other day, which said, who led the digital transformation of your company? And they circled COVID-19, which I think it's very kind of funny because it's kind of true as well. I've seen that a lot of companies right now are trying to accelerate digital transformation. So something that they had on the agenda for years, but somehow it has never been the priority. It never got a seat at the table in the company to, you know, really go for it and invest in digital transformation. And now that the need and opportunity to serve online customers has become more urgent in the wake of this virus, and we can see already the global economic impact it is having, like retail stores and dealerships are shut, companies are basically bleeding money, and customers are moving online, and services are done remotely. So I'm sure many of you are experiencing a huge spike in traffic, you know, to your phone or email channels. It's becoming clear that there is a burning need for a shift towards digital channels. So Niels, do you have any thoughts on this as well?
Yeah, and I think I've seen a lot of our clients, but also in the market, so many companies who wanted to do it, or it was in a roadmap, but never really got the priority, and now they're forced to do it. So yeah, it leads to a lot of different situations and actions. So it's going to be an interesting time for everyone, I think. So I think a valid question.
Yeah, I also, when I was preparing this deck, I found some research regarding, you know, the COVID and how the economies are reacting to it. So we all know that the pandemic will have a massive outcome on the economy worldwide. And I think every single life has been affected by it, some of us more than others. And we're looking, you know, to China to get hope and see how they have handled the situation and how they overcame the losses. So very interesting was to see that live streaming has massively increased and e-commerce platforms started to boom. So this is definitely showing us that this is becoming the new normal. You know, the digital technology has basically taken over, and especially live streaming and e-commerce, as I said. And also this graph, which is actually interestingly enough, it's without the current pandemic. So you can imagine how 2020 will show a massive spike. You know, this was just a prediction, normal prediction for live streaming video market
before
size,
everything started. Yeah.
Up until 2025. And we can already see that from 2020 to 2025 is almost doubling, if not more. And I think that this situation that we are in now is only going to accelerate it.
For sure, it's going to accelerate.
Okay, I promise last one, another poll I prepared for you guys. I would like to know which live video solutions are you using to communicate with your customers online currently or in the past? So any solutions that you have been looking at? I'm going to launch the poll, just give me a second. Okay, now please take some moments, read through the possible answers. I put down, you know, the typical live streaming platforms such as Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube Live, other or even none, because we all know that some companies are basically just not using this technology yet, which doesn't mean that, you know, they're falling behind. It's just that maybe it wasn't the priority, as we said before, at the time. All right, I think we got all the answers in. I'm going to end the poll now and share the results with you guys. So we see Facebook Live 11%, Instagram Live 44%, YouTube surprisingly 0, other 22. I would like to know which others you're using, and none, also 22%. Okay. So Niels, do you want to explain, you know, what are kind of the downfalls of this kind of open social media kind of sharing, live sharing tools, which are not really made for businesses?
Yeah, I can give you one example. Actually, not for businesses, but more for governments. I've seen a lot of live streaming from governments or city halls, and they have seen a lot of negativity around comments, discussions towards the government by itself. And I think the biggest problem is you can't control it. I mean, of course, you can put moderators out there, but it's not that they're in control of the reactions posted. I think in times of insecurity and definitely during those times, it's super important that you can control your brand image because that's what the experience needs.
Also, the other day I was watching a live stream of Samsung CEO keynote explaining like their new phone, and it was on YouTube Live, and then right underneath it there was an ad for the new Huawei. So it was kind of like, this is not actually what you want your audience to see when you are trying to pitch them, you know, the latest product that you're launching.
It's a smart marketeer probably who knew that. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Do you want to go through any other points?
Yeah, I think I can highlight a little bit later on as well. I think the main things that are listed here are brand communication is super important. Yeah, in those kind of questions, spikes in volume is super relevant because yeah, you just don't know what to expect, how many people are online. Like we've seen spikes in telco providers with doubling in data and internet packages. So it's super, yeah, people don't really know. And I think it's important that you can offer an unlimited solution and not something which is limited in a certain way.
Totally. All right, so let's look at different types of virtual events that, you know, can help you put a face to your brand, build instant trust, and of course, deliver more personalized interactions at scale. This is what even me as a consumer want when I speak to a brand. I want it to be personalized to me, you know. So let's see. Live FAQ.
Yeah, I have a good example here, I think. And we have some customers who are doing cycles. So what do I mean by cycles? They do 5-minute cycles where they answer all the frequently asked questions. So for example, if you have 10 questions which are almost getting back to you, if you answer those in 5 minutes and you can gather as much or as many viewers as possible, you can basically answer, I would say, around 90% of all the questions they had within 5 minutes. So it's super useful to just run those cycles over and over again. And if there are any specific questions, you can always answer them, of course, but at least you answer most of the questions without using operational teams like support or sales teams, or so it's super efficient for teams.
I can imagine, because you just need one presenter and they can just answer to hundreds of people, because usually people have the same questions, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
Good. Let's look at some other, like crisis communication. This has become like a very important one, especially in this environment that we're now. We can see a lot of you know, airlines and travel companies in general having this little messages, you know, we're experiencing extremely high call volume, please, you know, contact us at an email.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think broadcasts in this can definitely help, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think even we're giving governments a free way to use our broadcasting tool because our CEOs are willing to help out as many people as possible.
Yeah, so if you know anybody, please spread the word. We're giving it away for free to all public services so they can help, you know, inform the population about what's happening.
Yeah, no, we want to reach as many people as possible, especially I think one of the examples is one of the city halls in one of the biggest cities in California. They just want to use our tool or our solution to broadcast to as many people as possible because they want to spread the message and make sure everyone understands.
Yeah, so we're really happy. Actually, the mayor of LA is going to do a press conference using live broadcast solution by Whisbi, which we're very excited about, and we're really happy that we are able to help.
Yeah, that's super awesome. I mean, the more people we can reach, the better, of course.
Yeah. And then also interesting use case, internal remote trainings.
Yeah. So one of the examples I saw a few months ago actually already was with Skoda UK. And these guys, they do internal trainings on new car models. Super interesting, and they reach like hundreds of maybe even thousands employees at the same time while they need to introduce a new car. So they give a sales training basically on remote. And it is funny in the sense that these guys were already way ahead of the curve. They're planning to do that as well, and I think it is great to see what possibilities our tool has to still keep in contact with either your employees or your viewers, or so it's super useful.
And I think it was so clever of them. They trained their fleet managers so that they could go on and sell those cars coming in, which was amazing. And also, I think that some of their dealership sales agents as well.
Yeah, and especially in those times, I mean, it's if you can't train your employees, it basically means a lack of improvement, right? So
All right, and then last but not least, corporate announcements.
Yeah, so I think we have two different solutions here, and I think you can either use it as an internal communication or an external communication. And I'm going to use the example of the CEO who can do either an internal communication company-wide. So we can provide the URL, or they can do it on a public secure URL on their own. And the CEO basically brings the message, can give like certain communications about what the brand's going to do in those times. And the viewers are basically the employees of the company. And it's super easy to set up.
I remember I used to work for a big multinational corporation from Australia, and I was based back in London. So, we didn't have this possibility, and we rarely could hear our CEO speak. So we were just stuck with reading this quarterly statements, written by the CEO, which is not really engaging, and you can't really transmit that charisma that usually CEOs have. Yeah,
exactly. And of course, also external. I mean, if your CEO wants to be the face of the company in those times and bring clarity, then this is the opportunity to do that, of course.
Totally. Okay, now I would like us to look at some benefits of running these virtual events with our broadcast app. Yeah, I'm just going to hand it over to you since you're the expert.
No, of course. I think we touched this before, and it's really important that you can stay in control of your own brand message. You can control basically all the comments, all the users that are coming in, so they won't see each other's comments, and it also kind of creates a certain relevance for them, because they know that they need to ask a good question if they want them to be handled. And in the sense that also they can't see other opinions or comments, this will basically improve or make a bit more positive mindset, and the people know exactly what they're gonna ask, and not exactly
sometimes I watch this, like, I don't know, the other day was like a car launch on Facebook. I don't remember the brand, but it was just like full of bad comments, like, I hate this brand, this car broke like all the time, and so on. So it was just like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't like to be their PR or brand person in that situation. So it's definitely useful that you can just decide which questions you want to answer.
It goes out of control super quickly, of course, because there only has to be one who's saying something about your brand and someone else responding on it, and before you know, there's like a whole storm going on around your brand, and PR or publicity is around the corner.
Okay. The next one is no registration. That's an interesting one.
I think the main thing we want to say here is that our solution is accessible to everyone. Especially in those times, it's super important to be accessible for everyone, because if you need to ask for data first, or you're gonna make them register for something first, and different hooks in the experience, then it's definitely not improving the user experience in the end. And in the end, it's definitely about communication. So we want to make it accessible for everyone. Of course, if you want, we are flexible in this, and we can definitely offer solutions where we get our data, of course, within the needed requirements. But in general, our video is accessible to everyone.
Yeah, it can just sit on their website, and you can use that URL in campaigns and just get people to watch broadcasts without, you know, subscribing to anything. But if they want to ask a question, they need to put in a name, right?
Yes, and the main reason for that is because we want to create some personal feeling around it, and also, yeah, the presenter is knowing to who he's talking. So that's
they can address the answers like, "Hey, Niels, I've seen you ask this and this." Yeah, that's a really good. We got a question coming in from Miguel. Thank you, Miguel. Why are we using Zoom instead of Whisbi in this session?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
I think next time we will do it through the broadcast. Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. I think Zoom is particularly nice to gather people on forehand, and I think our solution is very strong in doing it directly through advertising campaigns and direct websites.
Maybe if I may add, Miguel, I do agree it's a good question, and we get asked this question quite a lot of times. But to be honest, Whisbi is not a webinar tool, and webinar tools offer a lot of stuff like polls and so on. And it's more like in a business environment. It's not really to communicate with your customers in a B2C environment. And that's mainly why we didn't use Whisbi. But we do sometimes like one-to-many sessions, like broadcasting sessions by our sales rep that are explaining different solutions at different times on our website. I can share to all the attendees later on some videos when we did recordings of these sessions. But yeah, that's the main reason why it's not a webinar tool.
Yeah. But next time I'll definitely think about it.
And then real-time engagement. What about this? This one is an interesting one.
Yeah, this is of course an extension of the rest of what we told before. It is everything is in real time, so you can easily engage with presenters. I've even seen examples of presenters becoming brand icons, like literally because they do such an important brand communication and style. It is they're coming kind of like an influencer on certain platforms, and yeah, it's super cool to see, and especially because it's real time. It's also fun to interact with, and it's you can take a lot of different angles on this, and yeah, a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, and the last point is mainly about how, you know, you can go live really quickly. It's very effortless, quick, and effective. You want to give us some words on that?
Yeah, well, since Whisbi has been quite a long time in the market since now, and our solution, broadcast solution, is also already in the market for years. And what I would like to say with this is basically that we've seen a lot of workflows from different customers, and we know what problems they're facing also. And I think one of the extensions in this problem is that we offer a solution that we host a subdomain on our side, so you don't have to do all the IT capacity or the politics around it.
The infamous IT, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's always, you know, everyone has different goals and objectives, and if that's not aligned, then it's very difficult to meet the same purpose. So yeah, we also noticed that, and we can basically set up within seconds. We can draw up a URL, and we can give you a login and say, okay, yeah, go on with it.
Amazing. And then I want to touch quickly just on onboarding that was designed for enterprises. So as Niels mentioned, you know, we know from our experience in working with numerous enterprises globally that the implementation of any new software involves many different departments and has to be integrated with existing system and processes. So we fully understand that, and we've learned from our experience. There are now almost 10 years or so, and we do understand that one size does not fit all. So all our implementation onboarding process is always super customized to our clients' needs. We understand, you know, multiple decision makers that are involved. We know how to brief different various stakeholders based on what their interest is in this project. We can also highly customize this product like a broadcast for you. We have very time sensitive, you know, ongoing trainings with you guys to help you and your presenters. And also, we're very considerate of, different marketing launches and other projects going on around it. Just last week, we started a project with Volkswagen in Portugal. And basically from the first call to first broadcast, it took 2 weeks or even less. And they're already live today because they had this time-sensitive marketing launch of a new car, and they could not do it in the traditional way because of the current circumstances. So we worked with them, we worked around the problem, and like really made sure that they, delivered on their marketing campaign, which was amazing. And also we know how to align with your IT, security, we cover all the GDPR and other data governance and security policies. And we've also been through extensive and intensive auditing processes for the world's biggest brands. For example, we have a global contract with Vodafone. I think the auditing process for that took months. So we know, all the hoops and how to jump through them. And also I would just like to mention that once you start working with Whisbi, we have 3 teams in place that take care of you from there on. The first one is obviously implementation team and our onboarding team that take care of all the technical details, all the implementation calls, trainings, and so on until you are fully live and we have actually delivered the service to you. And after that, it's a handover to customer success team. You get a customer success manager who is dedicated to you. And also we have 24/7 global support team, which is always available to answer, any questions, but also if you're facing technical difficulties, and they are also available online through our Whisbi system as well. And now, Niels, if you could just briefly explain, all the logos here.
Sorry, one more time.
If you could explain us these logos and big brands that we work with.
Yeah, it's we have a very nice variety of brands we work with, and especially in automotive and telco. Mm-hmm. I think we've seen a lot of different workflows, and because we've seen so many clients, we can definitely see the different trends going on and the different needs in the market. And I think that's the pro of for me working with Whisbi is that it's so we know so much about our customers. Mm-hmm. And we definitely know how to address the certain problems they're facing with implementation, but also when to go live. And mm-hmm. I think that's this is a nice overview of the.
Awesome. All right. So we have prepared like a 3 Live project overview. So 3 UK, they started to work with us last year. And the problem that they were facing was that they wanted a solution that they could do marketing and communication about their products and bundles online to the masses, so to a lot of people at the same time. And also they wanted a solution that can bridge the gap between the online and offline, because they had an amazing and still do amazing e-commerce shop set up, and was going well, but there was this human element missing that they were trying to fill. And we help them deliver, live video broadcast, a channel that is called 3 Live. They are live actually every 30 minutes. So you can just go to 3-live.com. It's their landing page. I think they're live right now if you want to have a look, or after the webinar. It's really cool. And it features a live broadcast to customers where they can ask questions in real time, as we presented here today already. The presenters are able to flexibly customize the content based on what the viewers want to talk about or learn about, and they can deal with users' concerns as they arise. So 3 Live creates also an opportunity to demo different products and different features live. So this live allows for a more dynamic and informative look at a product compared to a static image or just a web description that you usually find on e-commerce sites. What's more, customers are free to ask questions about the product, filling in any gaps in their knowledge, and that's how 3 is building really confident purchases with their audience. And actually, as like a recent thing that happened with them during this lockdown that also happened in the UK, their presenters are working from home, because all you need for a broadcast is a Wi-Fi connection and a tablet with our broadcast app. So they moved away from the studio and they're working in their homes and providing support to customers online. And they actually launched a new discovery broadcast, which is like educational content that they are putting on specifically now during this COVID-19. And we saw that this ability to access experts live, along with a highly engaging format for exploring products, has resulted in some impressive results for the UK. I have questions coming in, just a second. It's an anonymous one. Does 3 broadcasts happen in the company website or in our Facebook page? Do you want to answer that, Niels?
If it's the broadcast of 3 or?
Yeah, the 3 UK.
If it's 3 UK, like these guys are using it on their own website.
Yeah.
I know that these guys are also advertising with it. They do a lot of PR around it, and they use their social platforms to advertise on it. The reason why they don't do it on their Facebook page by itself, is the brand safety we talked about before. But they're definitely using their own Facebook page to promote their broadcast on their own direct website.
So they would post a social media post with a link to the landing, which is happening on their website. It's 3live.com. You can Google it, and it's like the first result there. So you can have a look at their broadcast actually now.
The main reason that we also always do it on websites, because then you can have the control over it and you can control it on your own through our system.
Yeah. You want to talk us through the solution that they saw with 3Live?
Yeah, I think I would just like to talk about, these guys are doing an amazing job, and I think that right now they're running 7 presenters at the same time from home locations and changing constantly. It's super fascinating to see, because it's a super dynamic environment. I think they here it says like 2,000 or 20,000 questions asked in a period of I think it was 2019.
Yes.
20,000. That's amazing, of course. And I think in the last few weeks they have seen enormous spikes in questions and volume as well. They recently did a very wide rollout on their whole website, so they're reaching a lot more customers as well, and amazing results. So I'm super happy with them, to work with them as well, and it's been a nice ride so far.
Amazing. And do you know their onboarding process? I remember they first started streaming from their flagship store in Oxford Street in London.
Yes, and I think they also wanted to do they were also, a few weeks ago, they started with the new Samsung launch. And I think they were streaming it through a home location, but with the stream of Samsung, and it was pretty cool, pretty cool experience. So they're really trying to see different concepts and trying to engage with the customer in the end and tell them the newest technologies. And it's very cool. Yeah.
They're doing a great job with this project. I agree. And then we also added a slide about Hyundai USA. You've been there, you visited them, their showroom. Tell us, how are they doing?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, sometimes I just sneak to their website to look their stream, because Gian, the presenter, is super engaging, and I literally want, every time I go there, I want to buy his car. It's amazing. And he's super engaging, and viewers love him also. Concept-wise, they're also doing super well.
Yeah.
I think, as you can see at the numbers here, they're constantly improving and doing different things to improve. And same as 3, but then in automotive, it's.
I think once you go to America, like everything is bigger and better, and like their showroom is amazing. Their direction is amazing. Like they look so professional, on these live streams.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they hire actors or something. Like they are really comfortable in front of the camera. And
he's I think
they put a lot of money in the production, right?
Yeah.
I have another question here. Sorry to interrupt you. What do you think is the difference or competitive advantage between Whisbi Broadcast and Facebook Live? Okay, so I would go back to this slide, guys, where we talked about this briefly, but maybe we can now explain it more in detail.
I think it's very simple. If you want to do Facebook Live, you reach a lot of different people. might not even be your brand, might not be even people who are interested in your brand.
Yeah.
You can't control anything what is being said there. And I think the reason why you would like to use it on your own website at least is you can control everything. You can make sure that your brand is being anticipated well. And the main reason is also that the people who are on your website are there for your brand. So every communication, what you do is super relevant for them. I know, for example, I think this week I did a call to one of the airports or airline operators. I went to the website and I had so many different communications and different styles. But I was just thinking, if you would put like a solution, a video solution there, which would be answering all your questions in 2 or 3 minutes, I would definitely go there and just run through it. And I think that's why you want to be it on your own website and not on Facebook, because you just don't know who you reach, and it is definitely less relevant than your website.
Okay. Yeah, totally. And also, like, why would you limit yourself to one platform? Like, I don't even use Facebook anymore. I'm sure that hundreds or if not millions of like millennials or Generation Z, I don't know how they're called, the younger people basically. I don't know if they use Facebook anymore. Like, I feel like it's kind of dying in popularity. Maybe Instagram, but I never check Instagram lives. Like, they're super intrusive, and like I don't want to. Social media is social media. It's for my friends. It's to share memes. It's not to learn about, I don't know, a new Hyundai, Like, I want to see this content when I'm actually researching that product.
Yeah, totally true. And I think on your own website, it's also super cool to just show something which is super relevant for your customers, because especially in those times, communication is the key. And if you can tell something about what your brand is doing in those times, for me, it will be super useful to see there.
I have a question here from Frank Pass. Thank you, Frank. Hello, could you connect Whisbi app for business API?
Yeah, I can answer that. I think this is definitely, Frank has a sharp knowledge, I see, because this is something
from the IT department. No, I'm just kidding.
We've been researching this, and we're definitely looking into that. I think it really depends on which market you're serving, because if you look in South America, WhatsApp is booming. If you look in North America, it's not booming at all. And if you're looking into Europe, it's like WhatsApp is of course the number one. And so it's definitely definitely an interesting opportunity. I think we need to explore, but it really depends on for which customers, of course.
Yeah, maybe we can follow up separately about this if it
requires very good question, more. I like it.
Yeah, totally. And also, I have a question here from Marta. Thank you, Marta. How much customization does Whisbi allow?
Yeah, how much do we allow? Almost everything. The thing is that with our products, we make sure everything is configurable. So that means that almost any functionality or copy or design change can be done super easily. There's basically no limits. We can do a lot, and everything is customizable. Our app is universal, but the end user experience is customizable with.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about customizations, maybe just quickly mentioning, like, we can customize, the title on top, the colors, to make sure that everything matches your branding guidelines. Also, the language that you use, like maybe Hyundai USA uses different language from a telco brand, let's say. So yeah, we can work with you guys and customize whatever you need, basically.
Yeah.
And also another question from Helen. Thank you, Helen. Can I connect Whisbi to a lead gen tool so that I can get their info and redirect them to another website?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as you can see here on this picture on the screen, these guys from Hyundai, they always pop up a question after a few seconds, which basically asks the customer if they want to book a test drive, or if they're interested in to book a test drive for this car. And if I would click on yes, I would like to, then I would basically redirect to a URL where I can find more information, book the test drive,
Yes,
think
we actually have a business case, guys, on our website, whisbi.com, about Hyundai Mexico. They actually using our broadcast solution together with like a converter solution, which is actually a message that pops up during the broadcast asking you if you want to book a test drive. So you can just go to that website and book a test drive for that specific model that they are advertising through a live video. Just to go back to Frank Paz, the question about the business API, he's saying that he's in Central America.
Central America, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there in Central America, we definitely see that the business, or at least WhatsApp business, is being used a lot of times. And WhatsApp is one of the main platforms of communication there. So yes, that's right, Frank. In Central America, South America, we've seen a lot of usage in the WhatsApp business there. And same as in Europe, North America is a little bit different, but yeah, that's totally true.
Cool. All right, if there aren't any other questions. Oh, I just got one in, sorry, one last one. How secure is the Whisbi platform? How do you comply with GDPR?
Yeah, of course, everything is GDPR compliant. All the data which is coming through, also even the names which we talked about before, where you basically, if you need to ask a question, this data is all GDPR compliant and even obfuscated if needed by the client. So everything is compliant with GDPR, but also in America, of course, with the Californian privacy law. So yeah, for sure, Marta.
Cool, amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for all your questions. I hope we've answered them all. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you, Niels, for all your knowledge and sharing everything with us. It's been great having you today. And I hope you will join our next webinar very soon. And if you have any questions, you can connect on our website, whisbi.com. We actually have our solution live and all our conversational experts are connected in real time. So if you have any questions, they're there to answer them right now in real time. So thank you so much again and see you soon.
Thank you for watching, guys.